Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with your wonderful hosts, Paraka the Goblin and
Ghost, your co-host.
And Rusty Bones is currently out this week. He's just doing his haunting bony thing that he likes to do. So he'll be back. This is why we get this is why we have necromancy. We will find somebody. We'll probably do a zombie. I don't know. Stuff happens. Anyway, this week we're gonna be doing an episode of Your Turn. Some interesting things happen. We're going to go ahead and start with the one you wanted to mention. So go ahead and say that.
The Microsoft deal gets blocked by the EU due to cloud gaming, supposedly.
Yeah, so synopsis. The claim of EU is saying that cloud gaming would be consolidated to basically a monopoly with Microsoft.
Well, I thought it would be... what is it? The technology would be... what is it? Like, it won't get its full potential if it's under Microsoft.
Just under one umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, basically
some
bullshit.
The monopoly.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying, a monopoly. So, I call bunk on just that explanation, but it's not that I side with Microsoft. I don't trust them as far as I can fucking throw them. But I also don't like Activision either, but I don't want them both to be sucking under one umbrella. I want them to both suck on two separate umbrellas, period. But I think the theory really is I think Activision does a lot of licensing work to a lot of studios that are in some of the European Union's countries. Mm-hmm. I think that's why that they're afraid that when they get bought up by Microsoft, they're just going to get consolidated, and they're not going to be able to bleed America dry through Activision. I think that's a situation they're doing, on top of being able to find the ever-loving crap out of both companies, so they could just drain them money through that with legal ramifications and crap overseas.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's both. I feel like it's a lot of this is just driven by money.
Gotcha.
Like,
yeah.
just EU's own thing. I know buying a company anyway is always money, whatever. Right? So I think that's ultimately what's going on. Like, honestly, I feel like I would have to look it up. I did not look it up after we kind of recapped what we wanted to talk about today. It was just on the fly. That's the whole reason of Your Turn. But
well, I mean, most of it's kind of like with them getting blocked. I know it's Sony just like doing whatever they can to stomp and shout to make sure that this doesn't go through, because they really, really need Call of Duty, which is kind of stupid, because it's like, well, what about your other first-party games?
Dude, look at how few they've already released.
Yeah.
Like, it's like people keep making fun of Nintendo. Nintendo needs third-party. Nintendo's been rocking hard on indies and their own damn shit.
Nobody wants to compete with their stuff.
Like, no, yeah. Well, they're like, I think it was on the GameCube. Somebody asked, I think it was Capcom during like the GameCube era, why do you put all your stuff on PlayStation 2? Why don't you put, and this was before that whole legacy Capcom 4, originally came up. And like, even Capcom's like, are you nuts? Do you really think we're going to survive against Mario? Basically, like, that's paraphrase, but they're saying that they were afraid to put anything like, what was it? Zack and Wiki or something like that. It was a Wii U game, but or a Wii game, and but they're asking why didn't you support the GameCube? Like, we couldn't compete with that. We could not compete with what Nintendo would churn out.
Yeah,
and I think that was hilarious, because there was companies that would be like making Tales of Symphonia and became like one of the best Tales games out there. Even now it's still like lauded as one of the best,
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, nobody else is like having a lot of faith in being able, because they didn't have all the other competition. They didn't have everyone else kind of scary about, like, oh yeah, we're better than the Batman license game. No, they're like, we did not want to go up against that. So going fast forward, like, Nintendo still made a little money. They didn't make much off the Wii U. Like, it struggled, but Nintendo made money off the Wii U. That tells you what they can do with their own crap.
Yeah.
Like, let's put it that way, right? And people keep saying, oh, they need Madden, they need this, they need that, but then also at the same breath go, I hate EA.
Well, the thing is, like, Nintendo can make money without Activision, so why can't Sony?
Right? Yeah, that's the point, you know. And then at the same time, why does Microsoft need Activision to make money?
Yeah.
You know, because you like on the same coin, Microsoft doesn't have much. They have Halo and Gears of War, and that's it. And Gears of War struggles to sell now.
Well, if anything, too, I think Microsoft just wants COD because it's like, well, I guess they do want Blizzard too. I guess
honestly, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't think Microsoft really wants Blizzard. I think they want World of Warcraft, so they have a consistent stream of money from an MMO, and the only successful MMO. They don't want to make their own. They don't want to fail. That's why they're buying success. They're buying their success.
Yeah.
That's like basically what Microsoft's doing by buying all these companies is like what League of Legends players do when they want Diamond. They pay a Chinese dude to do it. Like, let's be real here. That's exactly how most of them are in Diamond.
But like, biggest companies make the worst product, I guess. Because look at 343. Look at Bungie.
Yeah, like look
how
at
well
like literally
Halos do.
Look at all the games that even Microsoft Studio has been doing. Like
Look
even
at
on the
Gears of
PC and
War.
stuff. Yeah, like look on the PC and stuff. Like everybody keeps trying. Like I almost feel like people are trying to like struggle to smile. Like, man, this game's good, guys. Please play it. Please validate my poor choices in picking video games. When you could literally just say, I have been betrayed by Xbox. I'm going over here. You know, like just do that. Hell, there's people that are gonna be like that have been like, fuck the PS5. Fuck the Xbox. Fuck any new system. I'm going back to PlayStation 2 and just playing some RPGs. let's be real here, right? There's people that do that. Because at the same time, when you think about it, nobody wants a lot of the fluff. Like,
or they could bring back Lawrence Herb, the guy who created the original Xbox. Yeah,
they won't do it.
I know. Oh, he was the one.
It's all about brand.
Well, he was the one who made the Xbox and 360 so powerful to what it is. Now it's just kind of like, once he left, you felt it, man. Like once they fired him, it was like bland.
You felt the shift.
Yeah, I felt it. Like,
well, hell, I think what happened after he left the Xbox 360 and the immediate shift that happened afterwards was like a progressively long shift that Sony did. And I think it's because they shifted their idea to brand instead of niche games and stuff like that. Like, oh, we're fun, we're experimental, we do all these unique experiences. So you had stuff like Tokobot, you had stuff like Hurdy Gurdy, you had stuff like Jack and Daxter for your epic experiences, but you had a lot of wild, interesting stuff during that time. Then like later PS2 became brand. Buy our brand, you're cool.
Yeah.
Buy our brand, we're powerful.
Look at how non-Nintendo we are.
Look how edgy and mature we are by being PlayStation 3. Buy us. Be cool. PlayStation 4. We're almost as real can get. Buy us. PlayStation 4. PlayStation, like, it keeps doing that. And then the same thing happened when the Xbox 360 finally faded away into the Xbox One. That's like the Xbox One. The only one system that has one game for you and one player. Xbox One. You know, like it's ridiculous. You know, and it's gotten really bad to a point where like you don't even want to buy any of the third parties on those consoles. They're like, I've heard people that said they don't even want to buy the PC version of those games because they're probably just ported from the consoles. Like, no, I don't want that. I would rather get a game that's built from the ground up to the PC. And honestly, I'm surprised more developers haven't just focused on that. Like, choose a system. We're going to just work from the ground up from there. That way, we can just work on the content, work on how we function and stuff, and get it up to snuff, and then port it over.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people were complaining that one of the reasons why they're afraid Call of Duty would the deal that Nintendo made, they're afraid that Call of Duty would never be able to work on it because like making all these weird tech excuses. I'm like, bullshit. Let's be honest. A lot of it's optimization.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it's
Doom.
No, look at like Doom's runs pretty well. Like it looks a little muddy, but
it could run on an iPod.
Yeah. You know, like I think a lot of companies, instead of using the power that's there to cultivate and generate a good experience of the game, they're using it as a giant rug to sweep all their weird bullshit that they would like, the raw power that can hide. And then when you like, oh, we should port this game over to the Switch, so we need to take this rug and just yoink. What the fuck is all this? It's just like all this broken code and stuff that
I don't
just
want to do
functions.
all this work. Yeah.
And they're like, and that, like, people, and the one, was it Tequila Works, the guys who made Rhyme, like, the game was so broken on the Switch. They're like, oh, how come you put it in? And they're like, oh, it's because the Switch was too weak for our game. And they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, people are all not in their heads, and then other people who actually like played it on other systems, like, dude, that's been broken since day one on the PS4. What the hell are you talking about? Like, they're like the dude tried to hide, be like, I tried really hard. The Switch was just too weak. And then the dude's like, some of the people who bought his game on the PS4 were like, dude, it's been that way since we had it 2 years ago. Like it's, and it is just, it's literally like very iconic to just optimization. If that dude optimized that game, there's no reason Rhyme would have not worked. And at the same time, if you want to make it work, you would make it work. Yeah. This whole, oh, there's not enough power in the Switch. No, if you wanted it to work, you would make it work. Like, let's be real here. If you want, there's a market here, you would make it work. They did it for the Wii. The whole Call of Duty Ghosts, yeah, that had to be built from the ground up again for the Wii, because they knew more people wanted it, and they thought there's a market for it, and they did it from the ground up. If they wanted one like that, they'll do it. And hell, just port Ghosts. Like, call it a day. There you go. That sounds very Activision-y for you.
I get my own game.
So, now that we got done bashing all of them, I still think the deal's gonna go through. I think it's probably going to be 2 or 3 years from now.
Well, they seem very... What is it? Well, I guess Microsoft wants it to go through sooner because they're kind of pissed about it. But at the same time, like, whether it goes through or not, I couldn't really care. I just want to stick a thumb in Sony's eye. But at the same time, if it does go through, cool. But if not, kind of good.
If this is going on, and it hinders releasing a Call of Duty... Microsoft is willing to take that shot to kneecap Sony's growth without having a Call of Duty, because all this legal mumbo jumbo that's happening. There's easily a possibility, and I'm pretty sure. And this isn't a new method. The whole reason why Coca-Cola made Tab Clear was to confuse the crap out of people who were trying Pepsi Clear.
Oh, okay.
The only reason they did it to one of their worst selling brands at the time, and then people are like, what's the difference then? Like, what you know? And even though Pepsi Clear was just sugar water and stuff, it was just to shut down Pepsi.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
They put millions of dollars just to shut down Pepsi from it, and that was the end of Pepsi Clear. That's basically it. Crystal Pepsi.
So, yeah.
So I could see Microsoft doing a similar thing. Like, it's easily, I can easily see that being a situation. So, like, as long as they don't get a Call of Duty 1 year, I'm good, because that will just hinder them so hard. Because they could just walk away from the deal and be like, Game Pass, and then that's it.
Yeah.
You know, like that, and just make money again. So I still think the deal's probably going to go through. It'll be a couple of years from now.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the only thing that will actually ruin the deal is if the companies decide to just walk away from it.
Okay.
Like, I think there's going to just be like, this is too much trouble. Okay, bye, and just leave. Like, I feel like that's going to be the situation.
Oh, breaking news. More Microsoft sex scandals. Now that the company's even worth even less, Microsoft, like, they're gonna look to Microsoft to bail them out, right?
Just suddenly more harassment scandals.
Oh no! Now they're even cheaper of a company.
Curious. It's not like that was a method anywhere. Oh shit! I'm noticing again. Yeah. So there's that. on top of, but let's go into like better information. Let's go to good news. Several, and I think this was interesting and just in general. Several video games and several companies and several franchises hit huge million seller marks this just in this past week. One of the main ones was Capcom's Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. The RPG ones and stuff like that sold 1 million in less than a month, becoming the fastest selling Mega Man franchise.
Damn.
Not selling the most yet, but the fastest selling in the whole franchise.
Quick, we need a Western studio to do the next one.
So where's my Mega Man Legends collection? That's never gonna happen. I'm gonna be sad.
One thing I've noticed about Capcom is that their remakes sell better than their original stuff. So Capcom's resorting to making remakes. So because here's the sad news.
I don't want a remake.
Well, here's the sad news. The remakes are outpacing the lifetime sales of the old stuff. So Capcom is seeing it now that, we'll just get a Western studio to make this.
Ew. Ew. So that was a bad idea.
So now we see Mega Man Battle Network done by a Western studio.
Ew. No, gross. Ew. They should get Monolith Soft to do it. It's not like they're doing anything else right now. Yeah, there's that. On top of that, Namco had a milestone like that. Little Nightmares as a franchise sold 12 million copies worldwide.
Whoa.
That one's actually pretty huge too. Like honestly, I didn't think they would be that sold it that well. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I feel like it's a small enough it's like a small enough tentpole. It's like a mini tentpole for Namco where they could just like ship out another Little Nightmares type game and like just sell. It just sells well.
I'm surprised that even because horror is still a very, very hard genre to sell.
Well, it's because it's so oversaturated, dude. Like
well, it's very niche too, because the people who crave it will look for it, but people who don't want to play it don't touch it.
Well, yeah, and on top of that, there's a lot of them that will play it while everyone else watches it. And the thing is, it's just like so many people, so many indies and stuff will just churn out horror game after horror game after horror game, and they're all
Slenderman clones,
and they're like all the same, either survival of this one monster that exists in this one park, or it's a linear like narrative, and it becomes this fact that it was just your psyche attacking you, and you hurt a kid somehow at one time in like band camp or whatever. And like, I can't. I'm dealing with my regret. Whatever. It's stupid. There's so much out there that it's all cringe now. It's
and
just all cringe.
Yeah, and there's always the twist too. Then the kid was you the entire time.
You were your own murderer. What? I'm still alive. I know, and you're guilty for it. What? None of this makes sense anymore. But I think honestly Little Nightmares does horror in a different way, like a very Tim Burton sort of way. Like it's a very creepy metaphorical horror in it, which I think is kind of neat. I think there's a lot to explore with it, and if Namco just like not just ports one, but like makes a new one periodically, not even like a yearly one or anything, just periodically, like every 2-3 years, and they just make it. It's a small game.
Yeah.
Like just have a small studio just carry on and develop it as they move on and stuff, and there you go. Every 2-3 maybe 4 years, another one comes out. I can easily see that happen, and then they probably port the other two during those weird times and call it a day. But I thought that was really cool. Two games ever, and the whole total reaches 12 million. That's actually pretty cool. Another weird major milestone. The Mario movie has now reached 1 billion in revenue.
1 billion?
1 billion. Yeah. No, that's making it like the de facto best video game adaptation movie out there ever. Like, nothing's gonna compete with that.
Suck it, Disney.
Like, it's not like it's never gonna happen. Disney can make a Spectrobes game or a Kingdom Hearts game, and or a game movie, and it'll never take off. It'll never take off. It'll be stupid. I'm actually surprised how much it's gotten, because I can't stand Seth Rogen's I'm Seth Rogen playing the voice of Seth Rogen as Seth Rogen while you're watching somebody watch Donkey Kong. Like, that is like the most jarring shit. And then he even admits that he doesn't voice act. I'm like, then don't take roles that require voice acting, you moron.
Well, it's just like Will Smith. Will Smith plays Will Smith
as a fish that looks like Will Smith.
Yeah.
Like, just uncanny valley there. But yeah, like, it was so weird. It was so wild with that. But yeah, 1 billion, dude. Honestly, I didn't see it ever getting that far. Honestly, there was like so many other weird jarring voices and stuff, and I heard it's still good though.
Yeah.
Right. But outside the jarring voices, like, I understand. I can come to terms with the fact that a Hollywood movie would be made for Hollywood with Hollywood voices to fill in Hollywood seats. Like, I get that. Okay, that's the whole reason why they didn't use the original cast for Scooby-Doo for the movie Scoob.
Well,
like,
the thing is,
I
like,
understand that they need to fill in the seats.
the star power gets the people in, because it's like, I don't know about my kid really likes Mario. I don't know much about it, but I do know Seth Rogen.
Ew. I do know Seth Rogen. I should probably not watch that movie. No, like Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is widely liked, and he's a very likable guy. I could see people like going to see Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
you know,
they'll just go to see Chris Pratt. What's Mario?
That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason why Madagascar is still popular. Mm-hmm. That movie series sucks. Let's be real here. But because of the star power, dude, you got 3 movies and a whole TV series out of that.
Yeah.
That was still weird, you know. But it is what it is, and I can at least still appreciate that. You know, I can come to terms. But yeah, that's a lot of that. Like, I just thought that was interesting. It's not like each one individually was like really cool and unique and tells a story or whatever. It's just a lot of weird millions and billions milestones hitting all in 1 week. I'm like, well, that's kind of crazy, actually. So, you know, mad props to everybody getting successes out there. I kind of hope that the Mega Man Battle Network one generates enough interest for another Mega Man game.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, maybe a Star Force one next, or maybe just a brand new game. I'm willing to have another Mega Man 12 by this point. Mega Man 11 was great.
I don't know anything about Mega Man.
Feel bad. This is why you're a ghost. So, but I think we should kind of stop there for today. If you guys like our content, I'd like to thank you all for hanging out with us again. If you like it, feel free to like, subscribe, share, bell icon and all that. I don't know how all that works because I don't really push it either. So I understand if you don't, like, I don't know, whatever. But if you like our content and you want us to grow bigger and stuff, feel free to share it. I very appreciate it. And, as always, we will see you on the other side. Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.